Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel DestinyMoonTarot. In today's reading, I'm going to be finding out messages from your inner child. I'm gonna try to get as many details as I possibly can from your inner child and let you know what your inner child would want you to know. Before we begin with your reading today, I just really want to take a few minutes out to just express my gratitude to you guys because we just recently hit 500 subscribers here on my YouTube channel, and I know that's a very small number as far as numbers are concerned, but it's a milestone for me. I love and appreciate your love and support in whatever way it comes to me. I love it when you guys give my videos thumbs ups. I love when you leave comments. I appreciate you for subscribing to my channel and for choosing to be a part of my YouTube family here and allowing me to really do something that I genuinely feel is one of my life's purpose, which is just to be a tarot reader, to help and guide people. Yeah, I'm just very grateful that I get to do that here on YouTube, and you guys love me and support me on my journey, so thank you so much. Getting into today's video, I just wanted to get quick, in-depth messages from your inner child. I literally just asked the cards what your inner child would like you to know, and I have, as always, 3 groups prepared for you guys to pick from. So there's group number 1 with the lapis lazuli heart crystal. There's group number 2 with the opalite heart crystal. And there's group number 3 with the rose quartz heart crystal. As always, you can take as much time as you need. You can pause the video if you'd like to pick either one or multiple of these groups intuitively, and once you have done that, you can find the timestamps that correlate to your group's reading in the description box below as well as in the pinned comment. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the blue gorgeous lapis lazuli heart crystal, so let's find out what your inner child would like to tell you. Let's get messages from your inner child. As always, I have all of your oracle cards pre-shuffled right here, and I will also be getting in your tarot, but let's get started with these 3 cards first. This last card is your advice, so we will get into that in the end. So starting off, we have the dog, we have silence, and we have the scythe. Okay, so something that I can immediately tell for you guys, group number 1, and this was an energy that I was picking up from you guys also because you chose the lapis lazuli heart crystal. I just feel like you guys are my old souls. You are the ones who, even as children, you were very wise, you were very wise for your age. Maybe you were someone who was a bit of an introvert. Maybe you were someone who was just a lot wiser, a lot mature for your age, as compared to other children your age, or even now for that matter. You might resonate with someone like this who's a bit of an introvert, someone who's much more of a silent observer kind of a person, someone who likes to sit in silence, who's okay with being on your own. I feel like that's how you were even as a child. I think you were very friendly, you were very loyal, you were a good friend when you were a kid. And I'm saying all of this in past tense, but all of this energy could very much relate to you now as well, because as we grow older, our inner child still remains within us no matter how old we get. So I'm trying to describe your inner child, but you might resonate or relate to a lot of those qualities as an adult as well. Okay, and that's completely normal because yeah, there is a tendency for us to carry on our traits from when we were children into adulthood as well. Like, that's completely normal, right? So I feel like as a child especially, you were someone who was very loyal. You were very like a friendly person. Like, it wasn't difficult for you to make friends. You weren't someone who would bully other kids. You weren't someone who would, you know, gossip about other kids or bitch about other kids or spread rumors about another kid or call other kids names. I don't think that's your energy. I feel like for a lot of you, maybe you were even teachers' pets. Like, teachers really loved you. Maybe you were the kind of child who listened to instructions really well and like followed those instructions really well as well. Like, if you were told to do something, you would do that, and like you wouldn't break rules. You weren't very rebellious. You wouldn't, you know, stand out of the crowd on purpose. Like, you know, you weren't rebellious in any way, is what I'm picking up on here with the dog's energy. I feel like if you had homework, you would do it on time. You were the kind of kid who felt like, you know, you want to be fair and just with everyone, and you don't want to hurt anyone. You want to be nice to everyone. You don't want to steal, you don't want to lie, and you don't like want your friends to do that either. So, you know, you were like the voice of reason in your friend group as well. That is also something that I'm picking up on. But I don't think you were like a tattletale. I don't think you complained about your friends a lot or anything of that sort. I think you just tried to reason out with them that they should be better, or, you know, not lie or not steal, or like, you know, I feel like you were a kid who just followed the rules really well. Like, you were a good kid, I guess. I mean, like, I say good in quotes because I just feel like kids who are not like that shouldn't be labeled as bad. I don't think we are good or bad, but I think, like, you know, I feel like adults were just very happy with you, and I think we kind of grow up sometimes believing that if adults are happy with you, then you're a good kid, and if, you know, if you're being naughty or if you're misbehaving, then you're a bad kid, which I think is just so detrimental to a child's like well-being, right? So yeah, that's the only reason why I said good kid in quotes and not yeah, I'm not trying to like call you a goody two shoes, but I feel like that is the kind of energy that I'm picking up from you guys. Like, you didn't get into a lot of trouble or anything of that sort at all. I think you were just a good kid. You were minding your own business. You would pay attention in class. I feel like, again, you were also an introvert. So like, even though you were friendly, maybe you didn't have like too many friends. Maybe you just had like a close group of like close friends, and like you got along with everyone else, but like people who you considered your friends were just like a few close group. Yeah, so that's the energy that I'm picking up from you. And I feel like if there weren't kids around who wanted to play with you, it didn't really matter to you. Like, you were okay with being on your own. You were okay with, you know, playing on your own, or just like spending time with yourself. Like, you were the kid who didn't have a problem with having lunch on their own. I feel like that's the energy that I'm picking up from you guys, and I feel like that is something that your inner child is very happy that you were this kind of person. But with the scythe, I feel like I'm getting this energy that like your inner child had to like stop being this way, or like, I don't know, I feel like your inner child somehow feels like they couldn't fully thrive maybe as this person, because when you grow older, it's almost like you're pushed into being extroverted, or you're pushed into being diplomatic, or you're pushed into, you know, looking out for yourself first and not really caring about somebody else's well-being, or like, you know, kind of becoming selfish in a very selfish way, like, you know, becoming self-centered in a very selfish way. I think like that's something that we are kind of forced to become more practical and like more yeah, I feel like that part of us, like where we're being good friends, or like where we're being just okay with being ourselves. I feel like somewhere maybe as you grow older you had to like forsake this part of your inner child. Maybe your inner child feels like as adults you can be more like this, you can tap into this energy a little bit more because you were like this when you were a kid. Maybe as you grow older you realize that people would take advantage of your loyalty or your faithfulness, or you know, if you were always following the rules then maybe you didn't fit in as a teenager or something like that, and because of that you had to be very like strict with yourself and kind of, you know, almost kill this part of you. But your inner child really wants you to, you know, embody these qualities as an adult even more, and I feel like this is something that your inner child really misses. Like your inner child feels like they could have lived longer, or they could have, you know, still survived while still being a responsible adult, but you somehow cut their life short because you wanted to fit in, or you just felt like that's like having these qualities is not practical for the real world or something like that. And that's something that I'm picking up from with the scythe. Like your inner child would very much want you to almost like resurrect that part of you again as an adult. So like let's get your tarot. Okay, I'm going to be live shuffling the Kawaii tarot to get more information about what your inner child exactly wants you to know, and like, you know, get you a message from them, possibly like, you know, ask them to come through and let us know what they're expecting you to do, and like how they would want you to get in touch with them again. Yeah, so we have the 8 of Cups. Okay, we have the 2 of Swords, right? Oh, we have the 2 of Coins, and we have the Devil. Okay, right, your bottom deck energy is the King of Wands. Yeah, so I feel like somehow the world has just made you a little bit tough, a little bit, you know, more practical, more of someone who uses these qualities for themselves, yes, to like better their lives, but somehow you have forsaken this part of yourself when it comes to like, you know, treating other people, whether it's like with your relationships or with the kind of friends you have or something like that. I think your inner child feels like you can still be more like your inner child, especially when it comes to relationships. Again, there's like a lot of blue that I see in your reading, and like this blue is reminding me of like the throat chakra, and I just feel like, yeah, like your inner child feels like they didn't really have a say, or they don't have a say anymore in how you live your life, and that makes them very sad. I feel like your inner child feels like they could have guided you to a beautiful place, like both of you together could like, you know, work in collaboration and make life really good, where you can kind of balance the practicality and the responsibility of being an adult, as well as also, you know, enjoying having that like childlike quality still in you, and like enjoying things that your inner child feels like they thrive on. Okay, so I feel like your inner child feels like there can be a better balance between how you like deal with just life in general, where you can maybe also have like a much better work-life balance. And you know, it doesn't always have to be that, you know, you are an adult who cannot enjoy things that are assumed to be childish. I feel like your inner child feels like you're kind of denying your inner child like a voice. Okay, like every time you have a decision to make, you feel like it's like your adult self and your inner child just like having this conflict of what you should be doing, and you kind of forsake, and like you kind of almost you've left behind this inner child. And it almost feels like your inner child feels like if there was a situation where you had to choose between your rational mind and something that your inner child was saying, you would always choose your rational mind. And that is something that they feel a little bit bad about. They feel like maybe societal pressure, or just like, you know, the pressure of your peers, or just like, you know, the pressure of wanting to fit in kind of made you forsake your inner child, which just makes them feel really sad. And they wish that you would listen to them a lot more. They wish that you could, you know, step into this energy some more when you're dealing with life, or whether you're dealing with like relationships as well. I feel like, yeah, your inner child definitely feels like you have left them behind, like you no longer need them, and they feel very rejected and dejected by you. And they also feel like that's because of society, and it's not because you wanted to leave your inner child behind. It's because society expected that of you. So say for example, you know, as an adult, like suppose you're 18 or 28 or whatever, you're an adult, and maybe you go to a store and you go to maybe the pajama section, and you find like this really cute Hello Kitty nightgown, okay, and that's something that resonates with your inner child a lot. Like your inner child tells you, like, you know what, hey, just like get your hands on this, like let's get this is something that's resonating with me. It's a nightgown anyway, it's not like anyone else is going to see us, so how does it matter, just like get it, and like, you know, let me live, let me thrive in that way. But you somehow feel like, no, I'm a grown adult, like, you know, how is it going to look like if I walk out in public, or like if I open the door to like my Amazon delivery guy and he sees me wearing like a Hello Kitty nightgown, he's gonna judge me for being childish or for being immature. And I feel like that's what makes your inner child feel very bad. It's almost like your inner child feels like you were loyal and faithful to everybody except to your inner child, and they kind of want you to be friends with them again. This is such a sweet message. I feel like your inner child just wants to be your friend again, group number one. They just want you to listen to them a lot more, let them express themselves a lot more, and not really worry about coming across as someone immature or someone who's not acting their age. Like, you know, they just feel like if you wanna dance in the rain, then do that, and don't worry about what adults are going to say, or, you know, don't worry about whether people are going to think that's cute or not. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what society thinks is cool, and like, who decides, right? Like, who decides whether we are cool or not, and who gave them that power to decide whether we are cool or not, right? So I feel like that's what your inner child is encouraging you to do. Just like not care so much about what everyone else has to say about you. And I feel like they're almost telling you that you are such a good friend, and that you are so self-aware, that like, and wise and intelligent, that you will find friends who would want to be your friend for who you are. You don't have to dull yourself or dim your light, or, you know, follow the grain just because everyone else is doing it. Like, you don't have to, like, if you think something is cool and other people your age think it's not cool, it doesn't even matter. Like, you know, they're actually saying that, you know, as a child you were much more free, you were much more independent, you were much more, you know, okay with who you are than you are right now. Like, right now maybe you judge yourself too harshly, and you care too much about other people's opinions. And I know we live in a world where external validation to a level is important, and it's something that we all seek. But I think what your inner child is saying, that you depend on external validation a little too much. And they would like you to just, you know, be comfortable with being yourself again. Be comfortable with being friends with your inner child again. Like honestly, your inner child just wants to be your friend, group number 1, which is just honestly like the cutest message ever. Like this it's so cute. It just like, I don't know, makes me want to almost cry. But yeah, it's just, they just want to be your friend. They just want to hold your hand. They just want to be like, you know what, I'll be your friend. If people are judging you and if they don't want to be your friend, no problem, I'll hold your hand, I'll be your friend, we'll get through dark times together. Yeah, and we don't have to care about what other people are saying about us. Like, you love me and I love you. I'm hearing that Barney song, Barney and Friends. You love me, I love you. Isn't that the song? We're a happy family. What was that song? I think you guys know what I'm talking about. But like, yeah, that's just a song that I heard, and it almost feels like, yeah, your inner child is just like encouraging you to allow them to exist and like allow them to, you know, show themselves to the world through you. Yeah, that's something that your inner child is wanting to tell you. Let's get your advice card right here. We have confidence. It comes with time and practice. Yes, they're advising you, and we have 2 and 3, which is 5, and 5 represents change. Okay, we also have repeating 2s, and 2s to me represent partnership. So I definitely feel like they want you to change this narrative in your life that you will be all alone if people around you think you're weird or too eccentric or you're too immature. You're gonna be alone. I feel like maybe that's a fear that you have, a fear of not fitting in, a fear of being an outcast. But I feel like what your inner child is saying, that you two are gonna be there for each other. Like, they'll always be there for you, so you never have to worry about being alone. You will never truly be alone. And they're wanting you to be more confident in being yourself, and even being alone, if that means that, you know, you are not having to dim your light, if that means that you don't have to, you know, constantly be on guard and constantly like protect your energy and constantly worry about what other people are thinking of you or talking about you. I feel like that's just a constant worry that your inner child just doesn't want you to have anymore. And the advice to you from them is to be more confident, and it is going to take time and it is going to take practice, but through that whole journey, they want to let you know that they are by your side, that they will never abandon you, they will never forsake you. So that's the reading that I have for you guys, group number 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you like my energy and would like to see more readings from me, then please consider subscribing to my channel. It's free of cost and it helps me grow as a creator here on YouTube. And yeah, I hope to see you soon, and I hope to see you again. Until then, take care of yourselves. And yeah, sending you guys a huge warm hug to you and your inner child, group number 1. Bye guys. Hi group 2, welcome to your reading. You guys chose the opalite heart crystal, so let's quickly get into your reading and find out what messages your inner child would like to give to you. As always, I have all of your oracle cards pre-shuffled right here. We'll be beginning with these first. These 2 cards are your advice cards, so we'll get into that in the end. We'll also be bringing in some tarot for you, but to start off, we have the bear, we have family, and we have the clover. Ooh, okay, group number 2. The message from your inner child has been like, yeah, so quick. Like, your inner child doesn't want to waste any time. Your inner child doesn't want you to waste any time. I just feel like maybe group number 2, and you will know this is your group if this message resonates with you, because this is a message that has come out like almost immediately for you guys. Your inner child wants you to improve your relationships with your family. Maybe you were someone who grew up in a strict household, or maybe you felt like your parents were not as cool as the parents of your friends or other people around you. Maybe you've had issues with how you were brought up. Maybe you had too many rules, too many I don't know, like you had a very strict curfew. Maybe you like grew up with very strict parents. Like discipline was a huge part of your life, and I feel like somehow that was maybe embarrassing for you as children, where like, you know, maybe you had a curfew of 6 p.m. while all your other friends had a curfew of say 8 or 8:30, and you never really understood why your parents were so uncool, or couldn't trust you, or couldn't just be as cool as your friends' parents. I feel like that's a message that I'm picking up on, that maybe your inner child felt like your family didn't love you enough because they didn't trust you enough, or maybe because they were just constantly imposing these very strict rules on you, and you didn't really understand why they were being so crazy and so protective, and why couldn't they just be cool like all the other parents. I feel like that's a message that is really coming through, and I feel like your inner child is wanting you to like improve your relationship with your parents, because maybe when you grew up you felt like, oh, I cannot wait to get away from them and away from their rules, away from like their strict life and like their expectations from me. But I think what your inner child is wanting you to realize is that you're very lucky to have parents who wanted to protect you. They love you and they care about you, and they just wanted to protect you from the world, because yeah, the world is not an amazing place. I mean, I know I sound very cynical when I say that, but yeah, I just feel like it's not a very trustworthy place, especially for a child to grow up in alone. And like maybe your parents felt like you were someone who could get taken advantage of, or maybe your parents were just trying to protect you and they didn't really maybe know how to communicate that best with you, and maybe they couldn't like really articulate that well to you, and the best way that they felt like they could protect you was by imposing rules on you instead of just having a talk with you. But at the end of the day, I feel like what they were doing is that they were just protecting you, and I feel like your inner child wants you to know that, you know, they weren't bad parents. Maybe they just didn't know how to express themselves, but they were just trying to look out for you. They were just trying to protect you. The bear is reminding me of like a mama bear, you know, someone who's very protective, and to a point where she's overbearing about her children. So like, yeah, maybe your parents did come across as overbearing, but that was just because they were trying to protect you, and they didn't really know how exactly to protect you, other than, you know, imposing strict rules on you, or expecting you to be a certain way, or like expecting you to be home by a certain time. So yeah, I think your inner child is realizing that you were very lucky to have parents who cared about you and loved you, and they're probably just being misunderstood. Like maybe your inner child just misunderstood your parents and their intentions, and when you grew up you kind of carried that feeling within you that, you know, your parents are just too strict and they don't care about you, and they just are they just want things to go their way. But that's actually not true. I feel like if you sit down to have a conversation with your parents right now, they will just tell you that they were trying to look out for you and protect you, and they just felt like as parents that's the best thing that they could do for you, you know, look out for you and yeah, take care of you best in a way that maybe came across as them being too strict or caring too much about discipline, or, you know, coming across too much as uncool parents. Yeah, I'm gonna live shuffle the Kawaii tarot now to get some more information about what your inner child would like to tell you. Group number 2, I definitely feel like they are asking you to maybe improve your relationship with your parents, maybe talk to them, approach them with love. Maybe you are parents now and you are realizing that your parents weren't bad parents, and if you were in their place you would have probably done the same thing, but maybe you would have done it in a different way. Maybe you would have communicated with your children better, or expressed yourselves better to your children, and your concerns better to your children. So yeah, that's something that I'm picking up for you guys. But like, let's get some more cards for you, group number 2. What would your inner child like you to know? So there's the 7 of Swords. Okay. Yeah, we have the Emperor. Okay, that's too many cards. I just want 2 more. We have the Knight of Wands, right, and we have the 6 of Coins, and then we have 2 of Wands as our bottom deck energy. So yeah, I definitely feel like, I think your inner child feels a little bit sad that they couldn't be themselves with their parents. Maybe because their parents were so strict. Maybe your inner child felt like, or maybe you as a child, or even now you feel like there are certain things that you can't express with your parents. Maybe you feel like there are certain things that you can't talk to them about, or there are certain things that they don't know about you, or there's like a certain aspect of you that they're completely unaware of. Maybe you feel like the person that you are is completely different from the kind of person that your parents think you are, or the person that your parents want you to be or would want you to be. So maybe you feel like you've had to be very sneaky in your life. Maybe you feel like there were a lot of things that you wish you could talk to your parents about. Like you wish your parents were cool enough for you to be able to talk about boys or girls with them, and I feel like maybe you think that that would have helped you make better decisions as either a teenager or even now in life. And maybe that's something that your inner child is saying, like, you know, it's not too late. Maybe you can still have these conversations with them if you try to improve your relationship with them. That's something that is coming through. Like, that's a message that's coming through, because like right now I feel like your inner child sees you as the Emperor. Your inner child sees you as someone who has become successful, become disciplined, become this person who has power and authority, even though, you know, your parents felt like, maybe your inner child, or maybe you feel like your parents expected you to maybe go down a path of crime, or maybe, you know, be a completely different person than who you are today. Maybe you feel like your parents never expected that you will be as successful as you are today, or they underestimated you. But somehow you feel like, you know, I have made it to the top, like I have shown them. And I feel like maybe one of your driving force to, like, you know, push yourself to be better or do better was also that you wanted to prove to your parents that you are not useless, or that you are not you know, someone who needs constant care and attention and like constant like surveillance. Like you are a responsible person is something that maybe you have wanted to show your parents. And I feel like you have reached a place like that in your life, and that was definitely a driving force in your life, like, you know, proving your parents wrong, or like showing them that you can live a life without them, or that you can be successful, or that, you know, like, oh, you didn't believe in me, but like look at me now kind of energy. But I think what your inner child is wanting you to really do is just, you know, forgive your parents, even if they haven't officially apologized. I feel like they're asking you to make the first move, okay? They're asking you to extend the olive branch. They're asking you to forgive your parents for maybe not really knowing how to parent you. Yeah. I feel like your parents are not bad people. They just probably didn't know how to approach you, or how to like approach certain situations. And maybe their way of expressing love was very tough love kind of people. Like maybe there were people who didn't believe in like speaking to someone, or maybe that just didn't come naturally to them, which is why they weren't able to sit down with you and reason out with you. Maybe they felt like you're a kid, so you won't understand if they talk to you, and they have to be strict, and they have to be your parents and a figure of authority in order to get you to listen. And yeah, just somehow bettering your relationship with them. That is something that I'm really picking up on for you guys. Group number 2, I just feel like your inner child understands your parents now and like sees them not as parents, as figures of authority who know all, who have all of this power, but like actually seeing them as humans, actually seeing them as people who were trying their best. Yeah, like that's the perspective that your inner child wants you to have when it comes to your parents. I feel like your inner child really wants you to look at your parents as just people, and not people who were in charge of keeping you alive and had this responsibility towards you. Yeah, just like look at them as people who are flawed. Look at them as people who have made mistakes unknowingly because they didn't know better. Yeah, that's a message that I'm picking up for you guys, group number 2. Let's get into your advice cards. Everybody else got just 1 card. You got 2. So I took both of them because yeah, I just feel like maybe there was a message for you. So we have 3 and 3, 6. Nostalgia, focus on the here and now. We have 2 6s, which is a number that represents peace, harmony, love to me. So yeah, that is a number. And we also have 2 4s, which is a number of stability, which is a number of a strong foundation, a solid foundation. And together it's the number 8, which to me signifies infinite potential. Yeah, so we have storm. Every hurricane comes to an end. So just with the numbers, I feel like with the 6s, with the 4s and the 8s, I feel like your inner child really just wants you to build like a better foundation for yourself moving forward. They want you to work on the foundation that you have with your parents. They want you to work on the relationship that you have with your parents, because at the end of the day, I do believe that your parents and your family, like people who genuinely care about you, are our biggest support system. So I feel like that's a message that your inner child is wanting to give you. They're wanting you to work on this connection because there is infinite potential. There is potential for this connection to be amazing. There is potential for this connection to be a peaceful, harmonious, loving connection. Okay, it doesn't have to be bad, it doesn't have to be sour, it doesn't have to be bitter at all. So that's something that I'm picking up for you guys. Group number 2, with storm, every hurricane comes to an end. I feel like your inner child is wanting you to calm the storm within, to kind of stop thinking back into your childhood as something that wasn't good, or as something as like, where you felt like you didn't have enough freedom, or you felt like you were constantly running away, or like you didn't really have a strong support system. Your inner child doesn't want you to think that way about your childhood anymore. Your inner child wants you to feel like, every time there is a storm in your life, every time there was something that was potentially threatening to you, your parents were able to protect you through their rules, okay? And that those rules existed because they wanted to protect you. With nostalgia, focus on the here and now. I feel like this is just encouragement for you to just stop looking at them, your parents, your family, as people who were out to get you, or who were just ready to clip your wings, and instead look at them as people who just wanted to protect you and take care of you in a way that made sense to them, in a way that came natural to them, in a way that they felt was the best way to take care of you and look after you in that moment. Yeah, so that's the message that your inner child is wanting to give you, group number 2. 1717, when I saw the time on the viewfinder. So that again to me is 7 plus 1, 8 and 8. So yeah, there is like an infinite potential here for this relationship, and for communication in this relationship to be so much better, to be so much more than it is now, to be so much more peaceful and like, you know, loving and caring. And yeah, there's just so much potential for this to be better. And I think your inner child is realizing that they were very lucky to have parents who were looking out for them and had their back. But maybe when you were a child, you felt like that was suffocating you, and that's something that your inner child is wanting to, you know, come through and let you know that we shouldn't, you know, give our parents a hard time because of how they have parented us. So yeah, that is what I can see here, group number 2 for you guys. I think I'm gonna end your reading right here. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this reading. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you'd like to watch more readings from me, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is free of cost and it helps me grow as a creator here on YouTube. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys. Hi group 3, welcome to your reading. You guys chose the rose quartz heart crystal. So let's find out what your inner child would like to tell you. As always, I have all of your oracle cards pre-shuffled right here. We'll be beginning with these first. This last card is your advice, so we'll get into that in a while. I will also be bringing in tarot for you, but we're gonna start off with these 3 cards first. But before I do that, I feel like group number 3 for you guys, while I was shuffling your cards, I don't know why, I just thought of the Paris Hilton documentary that is, I think, available for you to watch here on YouTube, where she comes out and she speaks about her school, like the school that she went to, where she was a victim of like a lot of abuse, mentally, emotionally, just like a lot of verbal abuse as well. I don't know why I was like, you know, being reminded, or like why I was being shown that, but yeah, that just made me think that maybe this group has like a similar energy. Maybe you have felt as a child that you were maybe abused in some way, which I'm so sorry if you were, group number 3. I don't think anybody deserves that, especially not children. But yeah, let's begin with your reading to find out more information. But I don't know, there's just like a very heavy energy that I'm picking up from your group's reading. Okay, so we have the lily as your first card, we have blossom, and we have the child. Right. I feel like your inner child, and this is a very cute message, I feel like your inner child is wanting to let you know that they're very proud of you, group number 3. I feel like you were maybe children, or like your inner child maybe was either bullied or just underestimated or even abused in some way by a lady, like a woman, an older woman. I don't think you were bullied by kids your own age. Maybe like it was a teacher, or like a nanny, or I don't know, maybe your mother. You don't have a good relationship with your mother maybe, or yeah, maybe it was like a teacher or like a grandmother or someone who like put you down, who maybe, you know, called you names, maybe told you that you're not going to go anywhere in life, or maybe that, you know, you're not good enough, or maybe you're not smart enough. I don't know, maybe you had like a grandmother figure who told you that, you know, you look the way you look, and like that there's something wrong with the way that you look or the way that you are, and when you grow up nobody's going to be friends with you, or nobody is going to give you a job, or nobody is going to marry you. I feel like those are comments that you maybe heard as a child, and I think that these comments came from like an older woman in your life. That's either your mother, a teacher, or a grandmother. You could also have been bullied by a teacher in school. Maybe like you had a teacher who told you that you're not good enough, and that you'll never get anywhere in life, or that you're dumb or stupid, or made fun of you, or bullied you, or again pointed out the way that you looked. Maybe they like you had a school where you had to follow a dress code, and this teacher would have an issue with like just you and nobody else, and like maybe they also like slut shamed you, because I know that's something that happens in schools, and yeah, that's something that teachers do sometimes in schools. But yeah, I'm just picking up on like this energy where you feel like, hold on, I have the hiccups now. I'm just gonna drink some water, group number 3. Either when you were growing up, this womanly figure, this female figure in your life definitely played a number on your confidence, group number 3. I feel like that's definitely something that's coming through, and I feel like as you've grown older, maybe you've had a very difficult relationship with this person if they're still in your life, or maybe you've grown up feeling like women don't like you, feeling like mothers don't like you, feeling like women, when they look at you or when they talk to you, they feel like you're not good enough, or like you try very hard to impress women in your life and they still don't like you for no fault of your own. Maybe you felt like teachers have never really liked me, mothers of my friends have never really liked me, and this is probably not true. Maybe this is all just in your head because of the relationship you had with this motherly figure or this womanly figure in your childhood. Maybe that's just what's projecting into the relationships you have now with women in your life. But I mean, it could be true for a lot of people, but it also could be just in your head that you don't get along with women, or that women don't like you, or that teachers don't like you. And I think that all stems from the relationship you had with this either teacher or mother or a nanny, an older sister, an aunt, maybe a grandmother. I don't know. I feel like that's the vibe that I'm picking up on. But your inner child is wanting to come through and let you know that you have blossomed into a beautiful and amazing young woman, if you resonate with or you identify as a young woman. But I definitely feel like they think that you have blossomed into a beautiful person inside and out, and you are very intelligent and you are very wise, and you're nothing like what this woman or this womanly figure said that you were. Yeah, you're the complete opposite. Yeah, if this woman said that you're not pretty, or this woman said that you'll go nowhere in life, I feel like that's all untrue. Yeah, that's something that I'm picking up on here. Like, that's something that your inner child really wants you to know, that they're very proud of the woman that you've become, the person that you've become, the person that you've blossomed into. Yeah, they're very proud of you. That's a cute message. Okay, I'm gonna be live shuffling the Kawaii tarot now to find out more information about what your inner child would like to tell you. So let's see, let's get 4 cards for you. We have the 2 of Cups. We have the 10 of Swords. We have the 5 of Wands, right? And we have Temperance. Yeah, bottom deck energy is the Moon. Yeah, I just feel like this person, this Lily person, has definitely played a number on you, and that this is something that maybe you don't consciously even are aware of, but it has affected your self-esteem, it has affected your confidence, it has affected parts of your psyche that you didn't even like consciously know that they had affected, or they had that, you know, they're still affecting even into your adulthood. And I think what your inner child is wanting you to know is that maybe your relationships right now, especially if they're with a womanly figure, if you find that you're constantly fighting or gossiping, or you're constantly surrounded by women who look down upon you, or who bully you, or fight with you, or are jealous of you, or envious of you, I feel like that is because there are still some unresolved issues here when it comes to how you feel about just women in general, how you feel about like a female figure in your life. That's something that I'm picking up on. I feel like maybe you still have friends, or you like have colleagues and stuff who you feel are just out to get you. You feel like women don't trust you. You feel like you can never be friends with women, and you would like you are someone who is much more comfortable with friends with men, or like or just that, you know, like women don't like you, or like women have an issue with you. Like I feel like that's still a narrative that you have in your life, and I feel like that somehow plays into your relationships. And I feel like maybe you have felt like you want to have a good relationship with women, and you would like to have female friendships in your lives, but that has somehow been impossible for you because yeah, somehow or the other, something or the other happens, and you end up fighting, or you end up pushing away women who try to be your friends. Like you don't let them in very close. There's also a possibility here that you feel like the smallest of things that a woman says to you stays with you, like a negative comment, or like if a woman is pulling your leg, like even if this is your friend or someone you've known for a very long time, and I feel like if they say something to you, you're like especially sensitive to comments from women, even if you've known them for a very long time. And like even if someone cracks a joke about you, all in good fun, you take that too seriously, and you see that as a red flag, and you try to like cut that woman out of your life, or you try to like stop being friends with them, or like you feel like they're out to get you, and that's why they're making fun of you or whatever. I feel like that's something that your inner child is wanting you to be aware of. Like maybe that stems from the relationship you had with this woman in your life, and maybe this is playing out in your life because of the effect that this woman had in your life. So I think what your inner child is wanting you to do is just I mean, we will be getting your advice cards as well, but maybe like have a more balanced life, you know, have a more balanced approach to friendships with women, where you feel like, I don't know, maybe there's a possibility that you guys either get super close to women, where you are like so tight, where you're besties, but then you guys fall apart. So like that's what your inner child is wanting to come through and let you know, that, you know, there needs to be a balance. Like you can't fall head first into a relationship or into a friendship where you're so close and so tight and you do everything together with women, but the minute they say something that maybe triggers you, that you just want to end that relationship, or you just want to end that connection. They want you to find like a balance between knowing when someone is genuinely out to get you, or when someone is genuinely bullying you or being mean to you or making fun of you, and when they're just doing that in good fun, when they're just doing that because they're your friends and they feel like, you know, like a little bit of friendly banter between friends can exist. Yeah, so I feel like that's something that your inner child is wanting you to be aware of. Let's get your advice card. So we have Lighthouse, don't doubt your worth. Number 20, yes, I am always enough. This is an affirmation that I think will really help you. I am always enough. But what your inner child is definitely wanting to tell you is that this woman, whatever she said about you, that wasn't true. Okay, you are definitely worthy of love, you're definitely worthy of respect, you're definitely worthy of being seen as someone who's intelligent and smart and has a lot to offer, and you know, is a woman or a man of high quality, of high value. And what this person said to you about yourself is not who you are. Okay, so your inner child is really wanting you to not doubt your self-worth, to not believe that what this person has told you is true. And I think that's why I feel like maybe to some level you believe that what this person said was true, which is why it like plays out in your relationship with other women as well, or just like relationships in general as well. I feel like if anyone tries to like correct you, or if anyone tries to like be a little bit critical about you, you just start feeling like they're attacking your self-worth, or they're trying to say that you're not worthy, or they're trying to say that you're not good enough. But that's not true, group number 3. I feel like that's just a feeling that you have because of the relationship and the effect that this person had on you, and not because of who you are. So yeah, I think working on your self-worth is something that your inner child is really wanting you to put in energy into. And you can do that by starting to either mend this relationship that you had with this person, or just like, you know, understand that they were probably coming from a place of insecurity. You know, people who are bullied at home bully other, like people who are being bullies, what is that saying, bullies bully other kids, I don't know, like a bully is being bullied at home, that kind of energy. So I feel like maybe this person was deeply insecure about their own self-worth, and that kind of projected to how they spoke to you or how they behaved with you. I think what your inner child is wanting you to know is that it's not your fault. Please don't internalize what this person has told you to a point where it's stopping you from having healthy, functional relationships. Okay, it's something that's probably even stopping you from meeting like soulmates and like, you know, someone from your soul tribe. They're asking you to be gentle, not just with yourself but also with the people in your life. Okay, not see them as threats, not see them as people who are out to get you constantly, not to see them as people who are trying to put you down or making you doubt your self-worth. Yeah, they're your inner child is just wanting you to work on your inner self-worth and have like a high self-worth. Yeah, by putting in the work, whether that's shadow work, whether that's finding help, seeing a therapist, whether this is actually, you know, talking to this person and saying, hey, you know, the way that you behaved with me really messed with me and I don't appreciate it, and you were wrong about me. I'm not like this at all. And yeah, I mean, whatever way you feel is best for you to be able to overcome this issue, overcome this lack of self-worth, that would be the right place to start. But definitely your inner child wants you to start working on your self-worth, on having like a higher self-worth, a more, you know, positive self-worth. So that's what I can see for you guys, group number 3. I think I'm gonna end your reading right here. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it, whether this resonated or not with you as well. If you'd like to watch more readings from me, please consider subscribing to my channel. It is free of cost and it helps me grow as a creator here on YouTube. And I'll see you all in my next one. Bye guys.